Milo. Should we make a card today with pies or animals? Which one? Which one do you pick? That one? You pick this one? Is it pies or animals? Oh, it says pies. Oh, yes. Good boy. Let's make a pie card, huh? Let's make a pie card. Hi, this is Jenna with Brown Dog Craft Company, and today we are making a really cute pie-themed card. So we are using the Pie Perfection collection from Spellbinders by Tina Smith. And on the packaging here of Skyview Pies, I thought there was some great inspiration. So I'm going to show you some of the, this is Perfect Pie fillings, and there's a sentiment stamp set that we're going to use. And then the card that gave me inspiration today, there's a little lace border, but I don't have that lace border. So instead, I found a Concord and Ninth die called Lace Border that has something similar. So we're going to use that today. These are the sentiments. They're very punny and cute. And then I don't have the utensil set from Spellbinders. They do make one in this collection, but I went through my stash, and from Lawn Fawn, in the outside in stitched mug, they have this little spoon. So I'm going to use the spoon from that die set and in place of the little spatula. So let's start with our pies. I'm going to find some colored cardstock. So we're going to make blueberry pie. And I've got some blueberry cardstock from Concord and Ninth. We're going to make some strawberry pie. So I've got some little strawberries. Here I have some white cardstock. And I cut the white cardstock down to an A2 panel, which is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And then I lined up this first lace die and then the cut edge along the cardstock there, and then I ran that through my die cut machine, and it gives you this really pretty lace detail. So I've never used those dies before, and I don't know why, because I think they're really pretty. All right, here I've got some yellow cardstock for, we're going to make a flower, so that'll be for the center of our flower. And then I've got light green and dark green cardstock for some leaves. And then this is Concord and Ninth wheat, and I'm going to cut the pies from here. So we'll need 3 of the pie crust, which is on the right there. That's like the border. And then we need 3 pie centers. Our card's going to have 3 pies on it. So I'm sort of laying out, there's a lattice pattern, and there's like a little dotted pattern, for lack of a better term to describe it. And then we're going to cut out a solid circle and then cut some hearts from the center of that for one of the pies. So we'll have blueberry pie, strawberry pie, and maybe peach pie. There's one pie that doesn't have any fruit on it, so it could be maybe a coconut pie or a banana pie. Could really be a lot of different pies. Whatever your imagination can come up with. And then the spoon, I'm cutting from some Spellbinders gold cardstock to make a gold spoon or a gold serving fork of sorts. So, and then we will take a piece of the peach pie or the lighter colored pie that doesn't have any fruit on it, and once we've fully assembled that pie, we'll use, there's this little triangle piece, and it cuts out a pie slice. So I'll show you how to do that to make sure you cut all the way through your pie. But it's really easy and it's super cute. So here I'm going to take the solid center of the pie and tape down the hearts, and I'll run that through my die cut machine twice. And I'm just using some pink tape. It's Easy C tape. And I've got a little dispenser from Amazon to make it hands-free. It works really good. So I've got the lattice for one pie cut out, and 2 of the pie crusts that are going to go around the outside of the pie cut out. And we will cut out the heart pie next. And there's a flower that we'll cut out from white. And oh, we're going to use a stencil today too. The stencil is from the Spellbinders Pie Perfection collection also. And it gives you like a checkerboard picnic, like a picnic blanket pattern. And I'm going to use a few different colored inks for those. I'm going to use all the Distress Oxide inks today. We're going to use tea dye for the peach pie, Vintage Photo for the pie crust, Salty Ocean and Chip Sapphire for the picnic blanket, and Lumberjack Plaid for the strawberry pie. So here I have all of the pies die cut, and you see the little slice, the little rectangle, not the little rectangle, the little triangle up in the corner. That's how we're going to cut out the pie slice. So here I decided I want a piece for my sentiment popped up above the lace. So in order to do that, I'm just taking a pencil and lining up another piece of cardstock with where the lace is, and then cutting along my pencil marks. So I'll have a little piece that I can pop up on top of the lace, so it'll have some dimension. So I'm just going to erase my pencil marks gently. That looks good. And I'm going to stamp my sentiment on here too. So I'll stamp my sentiment in some VersaFine black ink, black pigment ink. So here I'm just showing you how I cut each of these out. And they need some dimension. So here I'm going to take my Vintage Photo and my blending brush. Now for your Distress Oxide inks, you're going to want to make sure you use a different blending brush than the brushes that you use for your dye inks. So dye inks are, a lot of Hero Arts inks are dye inks. The Simon Says Stamp Positively Saturated are dye inks. Concord and Ninth are dye inks. Stampin' Up! Are dye inks. So I use the same blending brush for all of those. But for my Distress Oxide inks, because they have a different, there's just different properties of the ink, they're more pigment type. Distress is, I don't really know how to describe it. It's not really pigment, it's not really dye. It kind of has like a chalky texture. It blends really well. So I have my own separate set of blending brushes just for my Distress Oxide inks. I just have one for each color. So I know a lot of people have either a blending brush or like a sponge dauber for each color of Distress Oxide, but I just use, you know, for all the browns I use the same brush, or all the reds I use the same brush, and so on. So here I pulled out my stencil mat from Waffle Flower, and I'm just sort of randomly adding some Vintage Photo onto these so they look like they're baked in the oven. So I did that to all the pie crusts. And then I'm going to do my peach pie or pecan pie or banana cream pie, whatever kind of pie we can think this might be. And I'll add some ink to that and check how it looks. And that looks really good. Now for the strawberry pie, we'll do lumberjack plaid, which if you didn't add a strawberry to this, this could be rhubarb pie or cherry pie. This is one of my favorite colors of distress ink. It's so pretty, so vibrant. I love the hearts on that pie too. And then for the blueberry pie, we'll do some chipped sapphire. I'm mostly concentrating the color in the center of the pie. That looks good. I'll spray some water on my stencil mat and just wipe that up quickly. It cleans up really easily. So here's the stencil from the pie collection. And I've got my A2 panel, so 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. My A2 panel of white cardstock put in the corner there, and I've got some pixie spray, which is a low tack spray adhesive on the back of my stencil to help hold it down. And I'm going to ink blend 2 different colors of oxide ink. So here I'm starting with Salty Ocean, and I'm using a relatively light hand, and it's okay if it's not perfect. I actually am looking for the not perfection. And then I'm going to add some chipped sapphire. So we get a 2-tone blue background. And I will start assembling now. So here we've got a little white flower with a yellow center. Now that yellow is a new Concord and Ninth color. It might be sunflower. And then here I'll start assembling the pies. I'm just gluing the pie pieces together. You could maybe either add some foam or die cut out the pieces a couple of times to add some dimension to the pie, but I'm going to pop up the pies with foam tape on the backgrounds, so that'll give them enough dimension then. So here I'm just adding a little bit of glue behind the lattice and putting that onto the we'll add the crust to each pie. I just can't get over how realistic they look. Like, they really look like little pies. And this one doesn't want to stay together. Add some more glue. So since I already had the inspiration for this pie on the packaging, I'd say from start to finish, even with all the die cutting and the ink blending, this card took less than 1 hour to make. It really came together pretty quickly. Alright, so here I'm going to add some blueberries. I have 3 blueberries to add on top of the blueberry pie. And I'm going to add 1 blueberry straight onto the pie, and then I'll pop up the other 2 on foam squares. Use my reverse tweezers to help hold these little pieces. And then I'll add some leaves. Add some leaves to that pie. And then on the strawberry pie, I'll pop up 1 strawberry on the outer edge there with a foam square. I'm just kind of trying to figure out where it looks best. Now I don't have any fruit to add to this pie, but I am going to cut out the pie slice. So when you're lining up this little triangle, you want to make sure that the back edge of the die, you want to make sure it hangs off the edge of your pie so that it makes sure to cut through all the way through the pie and give you a full slice. So now we have a cute little slice of pie. So there's all 3 pies put together. And here I have some Hero Art Snowfall glitter. And I thought when I bake pies, I love to add some sugar, like non-melting sugar, to the top of the pie because it just adds that special little touch. So I thought if I'm baking a pie in real life, that's what I would do. So why wouldn't I do that if I'm making a pie for a card? So I added a little bit of glue to each pie, including this pie piece, and then I just kind of dipped the piece or the pie into the glitter. I think I pour the glitter over these big pieces of pie. I just have a piece of like copy paper or a craft paper there underneath to catch all the glitter. So just sort of adding little dots of sugar to each pie. Just tap it with my finger to get off the excess. And the glue will dry completely clear. So if you can see any glue when you first put the glitter on, that's perfectly fine. It'll dry clear and you won't be able to see the glue at all. So then I made sure to add some glitter to the blueberries. I should have added some to the strawberry. Now that I'm looking at the finished card, of course. So here when I'm done with the glitter, I just funnel as much of it as I can back into the container and throw the rest away. And I did not channel my inner Tim Holtz because Tim Holtz says that glitter is an outdoor activity. And 90% of the time, I guess I would agree. It does make a mess and it gets everywhere, but it's necessary on these pies. So here I'm taking the sentiment, "You want a piece of me?" and stamping it along that angled piece that we're going to put on the very front of the card with my VersaFine black pigment ink. So here I'm going to take some double-sided tape and adhere my stenciled panel onto my card panel, which the stencil panel I cut down. I cut 1/8 of an inch off every side. And so I'm going to take my top folding card base. I like to use the Simon Says Stamp card bases. I believe they are 130 pounds, so they're nice and sturdy. So I'm going to adhere the stenciled piece onto the card base, and then I'm going to center this lace piece at the top. It looks really cute already. Now I have some foam tape and I'm putting that on top of the piece with the sentiment. And I will center that over the lace piece. Now I was impatient and I didn't let my black ink dry long enough, so it smudged onto the card. And I left this in here because everyone makes these mistakes. Sometimes you don't see them because we edit them out and it wouldn't appear that we make a mistake, but I wanted to leave it in here. So I just have a sand eraser and I'm very gently taking it and scraping it where the ink is, where I don't want it. And it comes off, you can't even tell it's there on the finished card. So I'm going to adhere, let's see, I used foam tape to put down the pie slice and the flower, and then behind those I'm adding a couple of leaves and a strawberry. And then I'm taking foam squares, and I'm going to put foam squares on the back of all the pies, and then sort of lay them out and see where I want them on the card front. And I think they look best when they hang off the sides of the card a little bit. So once I have those where I think I want them, I'll take the backers off my foam tape and press those down. And then underneath the pie slice, I'm going to slide the spoon in. So I just used some liquid glue. And when you slide the spoon in far enough, you can't tell it's a spoon. It looks like a serving spatula. So Lawn Fawn for the win. So here I'm going to I'm going to take a long pair of scissors and cut off the pieces that hang over the edge of the card. And I will add, for embellishments, I'm going to add, it's by Trinity Stamps, they're boiled sugar jelly hearts. So they're clear jelly hearts. And I add 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in various sizes. So I scattered those about the card. And again, the glue will dry clear behind those, so you don't have to worry about being able to see the glue behind those. So I think this card came together great. I'm really happy with it. I hope you pick up these products or have something similar that you can create with. They were really fun to make this pie card, and I can't wait to give it to someone. So thank you for stopping by today. I hope you have a great day and have time to do something crafty. I'll see you later. Bye.